Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting Chicago Bears updates every single day. Today, we're diving into a blockbuster projection from ESPN's Mike Clay. He predicts that DeAndre Swift will steamroll, past the 1,000-yard rushing mark in 2025, rushing 245 times for 1,003 yards and scoring 8 touchdowns. Could Swift really eclipse his career best and unleash a ground game the likes of which Soldier Field hasn't seen in years? Let's unpack this bold forecast and explore what it might mean for our offense, our running back room, and our entire season outlook. When Ryan Poles inked Swift to a 3-year, $24 million deal last offseason, he envisioned a versatile back who could be the thunder to our lightning passing attack. Yet, through 2 seasons, Swift has averaged just 3.8 yards per carry in 2023, with 6 total touchdowns. Meanwhile, his 2024 campaign was solid but unspectacular, leaving fans wondering if the Bears truly solved their backfield woes. Now, Clay's projection dares us to believe Swift will nearly match his best 1,046-yard season from 2021, just 46 yards shy, despite a longer slate of games diluting per-game averages. To average 59 yards per contest over 17 games, Swift would need to be as consistent as a metronome, and healthy enough to handle nearly 15 carries each week. What makes Clay's forecast so intriguing is its context. He sees Roschon Johnson tallying 420 yards on 103 carries, giving our backfield duo a combined 1,223 yards, an attack worthy of Sunday Night Football. Could our offense really transform into one of the league's most feared ground attacks? Imagine defenses stacking the box to stop Swift, only to see him hit tight cuts, explode through the A-gap, and force safeties to respect his pass-catching skills out of the backfield. When defenses bite on play action, Justin Fields could launch deep strikes to DJ Moore and Chase Claypool, turning 1,000 rushing yards into 3,000 passing yards of pressure-relieving offense. There is reason for cautious optimism. Swift has shown flashes of bruising power and game-breaking speed, evidenced by his long touchdown runs and baffling spin moves. His vision has improved under offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, who's been tailoring run schemes to leverage Swift's ability to find cutback lanes and accelerate through creases. If Swift can stay on the field for 16-plus games, and Bears training staff have refined his conditioning and recovery protocols, Clay's projection might come to life. After all, a Grade 1 hamstring strain last season cost him precious carries. With modern sports therapy, even minor injuries can be mitigated quickly, keeping Swift fresh. Then there's the rookies. 7th-round pick Kyle Monangai has already turned heads in OTAs with his thunderous contact balance and ball security. Clay pegs him for a modest 80 yards on 20 carries. But what if Monangai seizes an early role, using his low center of gravity to pick up early down yards and freeing Swift for third and short bursts and goal line work? If Monangai's role expands into a true 1-2 punch, our calculus for doubles and fronts by opposing defenses changes radically. Imagine a scenario where, at mid-season, Monangai outshines Johnson and becomes RB2, forcing coordinators to game plan for 3 legitimate backs. That level of depth could keep Swift fresh, distributing touches while maintaining yardage per carry. Could this also impact the trade market? If Swift indeed looks on track for 1,000 yards by Week 6, his trade value could skyrocket. Poles and Ryan Pace might field calls for a veteran wide receiver in exchange for Swift's next 2 seasons of production, an enticing possibility given our need for perimeter weapons. But would we dare part with our potential 1,000-yard back? Most Bears fans would bristle at that idea. Swift has become a cult hero here, and trading him mid-contract feels like admitting defeat on our ground attack dreams. Analysts around the league are similarly divided. Some insiders believe that Swift's receiving ability, averaging 42 catches per season, gives him an edge in third-down situations, turning checkdowns into chunk gains that boost his overall yardage. Could we see multiple 50-yard receptions by Swift that push him over Clay's projection? On the flip side, if defenses key on Swift and force our offense into obvious passing downs, his carries could dip below 200, making 1,000 yards unattainable no matter how explosive he is. So here's the burning question. Could a 1,000-yard rusher in Chicagoland revive this franchise's identity? Could Fields and Swift forge a dynamic duo that propels us into playoff contention, or is this projection a hopeful fairy tale that underestimates the rugged reality of NFL defenses? As a lifelong Bears supporter, I can't help but dream of Swift pounding the turf, hearing the roar of Halas Hall each time he plows through the line. But I also fear the heartbreak if Clay's numbers don't materialize. If you're as fired up as I am about Swift's epic 1,000-yard chase, hit that like button, subscribe to Bears News Fan Report, and ring the bell right now, because the next chapter in Chicago's ground game saga is about to explode. Let's imagine mid-season, Week 10, Soldier Field under the lights. The scoreboard shows Bears up by 7 in the fourth quarter, and Justin Fields drops back for a play action. The defense flies up, anticipating a deep shot, then Swift takes. The handoff darts through an A-gap seam and hits daylight. As he glides past linebackers, Fields launches a deep crossfield laser to DJ Moore, leaving safeties with nothing to do but watch. That single play encapsulates the power of a 1,000-yard rusher. Defenses can't overcommit, and the entire offense benefits. But let's get real. The grind of 17 games plus playoffs is unforgiving. To hit Yeanton 3 yards, Swift must avoid injury, maintain a 60-yard-per-game pace, and flourish in diverse schemes. Luke Getsy's play calling will be critical. Expect him to sprinkle in outside zone runs, power schemes, and even wildcat movies to keep Swift fresh. On short yardage downs, Swift's bruising style will punish goal line fronts. On 2nd and 10, he'll shift into gear on delayed handoffs, exploiting linebackers cheating into the box. If Getsy can unlock creative run-pass options, Swift's total could surge above 2,100. Rashawn Johnson's progress also factors heavily. Clay projects 420 yards on 103 carries, numbers that mean Johnson would average just 3.8 yards per attempt. But Johnson's skill set suggests more. In camp, Johnson flashed burst-on-toss sweeps and backside counters, showing he could average 4.5 yards per run if given the right blocking angles. If Johnson outperforms projections and finishes closer to 500 yards, the tandem's combined rushing total balloons to 1,500. That kind of firepower forces opponents to employ 2 high safeties, creating matchup nightmares in the intermediate passing game. Let's talk durability. Swift's frame has held up so far, but Carolina's bruising front seizes every chance to throw him down. Chicago's offensive line must gel early. If rookies like Darnell Wright and Braxton Jones lock down-edge defenders, Swift's crease hit rate will rise. O-linemen setting firm zones and executing second-level blocks will turn modest gains into explosive runs. Without stout line play, even the best backs struggle to find consistent yardage. Our run-game coordinator, Jimmy Lake, must coach discipline at the point of attack and ensure the front 5 sustain blocks through contact. Now, where do the trade and free agent markets fit into this dream scenario? If Swift looks like a 1,000-yard guarantee by mid-season, the Bears could entertain offers for veteran receiver DK Metcalf, say a 2026 second-round pick, to further stockpile draft capital. But would Chicago really part with its WR1 when this offense clicks? Fans would revolt, but the front office could argue that a historic backfield-led identity reduces the necessity for an elite perimeter threat. It's a bold pivot toward ground-and-pound glory. Thanks for joining me on this. Deep dive into Chicago's ground game potential. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Bears News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Now, tell me your thoughts below. Will Swift cross the glorious 1,000-yard mark, or are we setting ourselves up for heartbreak? Until next time, keep the roar alive and bear down.